Yes, guys, welcome back to the Watford Way, and today it's a really huge preview. In fact, probably one of Watford's biggest games, if not the biggest, since we got promoted back to the Premier League in the 2015-16 season. You could call it a classic six-pointer. I think it's more than that. I personally think whoever wins this game essentially secures Premier League survival. Today we're joined by James from the We Are West Ham podcast. All their links will be in the description down below. And while you're down there, also let me know your score predictions for the game. I'll let you know mine at the end of the video. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you next time.
Hello everybody, I'm James Jones and I'm the co-founder and co-host of the We Are West Ham podcast. And this week I'm incredibly nervous as well ahead of Friday night's game at London Stadium between ourselves and you guys in what is probably both our sides' most important game of the season. It's massive. I think both of us, in terms of fan bases, felt that we were probably safe after our wins last weekend. But as is normally the way towards the back end of any season, other teams begin to win as well. And obviously with Bournemouth turning over Leicester and Villa beating Palace, it means that this game is probably more important than we probably thought about 5 or 6 days ago. In terms of Watford, though, before I get onto West Ham, I think Nigel Pearson, since he come in December, has done a fantastic job. I know some fans are arming and ahhing about whether he is the man to take Watford forward. And Watford aren't known. I'm sure you will agree with me here that aren't known to stick by managers even after success, even if they've taken them to an FA Cup final or got you promoted. Managers are never safe at Vicarage Road. But all that aside, I think Nigel Pearson's done a great job, and I think he will keep Watford up, even with the difficult fixtures that Watford face after us with City and Arsenal to come. I think even with those considered, I think he'll keep Watford in the Premier League. And I suppose beyond then, it's then how I'll be keeping a close eye on how Watford try and establish themselves into the Premier League, because it's a good club. I enjoy going there. I only live around the corner in Boreham Wood, so when Watford are in the Premier League, I only need to get a bus to the away to Vicarage Road for the away fixture. So for that reason alone, I'd like Watford to stay in the Premier League. But I think it'd be interesting to see who will take the job if Pearson isn't trusted to take the reins long term. I think Watford have, with Javi Gracia, for instance, and Marco Silva, you always felt that perhaps they might have found a long-term solution in that role, but then it doesn't work out for whatever reason. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But from a West Ham perspective, it's been a very similar season, similar manager in charge, a firefighter brought in to keep us up for the second time running where David Moyes is concerned at West Ham, but not really trusted to take the club forward, or there's still question marks over whether they have the ability or the trust to be able to take the football club forward. And that's where West Ham and Watford are quite similar at the moment. But we're West Ham fans at the moment feel that we're not in a position where we should be. We're not in a position where we were promised that we would be by the owners. It's been well documented that David Gold, David Sullivan and Karen Brady promised the fans and promised the football club a whole new world of success with this stadium move 4 or 5 years ago, and it felt like that was going to happen after our last season at Upton Park, where we were so close to finishing in the top 4 on the Slaven Bilic. But ever since then, it's fallen apart, and it's been a complete car crash the last 4 years. And a lot of that is down to decision making upstairs. David Sullivan, the recruitment strategy. We felt like we may have stumbled across a bit of success by appointing Pellegrini in the director of football. That didn't work. It seemed like it might work at the beginning, but that all fell apart as well. So we're in a situation at West Ham where we're sick of being lied to by the board. We're sick of the poor decisions being made. There's been a lot of money spent, and I don't think a lot of fans go, well, West Ham have spent a lot of money. But we have spent a lot of money, but more often than not, we spend it very, very badly. We've splashed £40 million on Felipe Anderson, who's a hot and cold player. Has his moments, but more often than not, he goes missing in games. He's perceived as being lazy. Sebastian Haller, £45 million, club record signing last summer, only 8 goals. And we're relying on someone like Mikel Antonio at the moment to keep us up in the Premier League as a lone striker, when he's not really a lone striker, he's a winger. So we're in a situation at West Ham. If we go down, then I don't see West Ham coming back up again for a very long time. I think it's the worst possible time with that new stadium, and particularly with the COVID-19 situation, where financially every football club, even the big clubs, are sort of penny pinching a little bit. Some more so than others. But I think it'll be a bit of a disaster for the club, especially when we were told that it's going to be a world-class stadium for a world-class team, and that hasn't happened. And Watford have had a bit of luck at London Stadium over the last few years. The one that springs to mind is that first visit and that first season. I think it was our second ever game there. And we were 2-0 up and Watford turned us over 4-2. And talking to a Watford fan recently, he said, at half-time, the vitriol from West Ham fans and the pressure of the fans and the anger towards the players sort of really went into it, played into Watford's hands a little bit. And I think that's why on Friday, I think it might play into our hands not having the fans in the ground, because as everyone knows, West Ham fans are very impatient, and rightly so in some cases, given what I've just explained regarding the owners and the sort of poor management of the football club. And I think on Friday night it should play in our hands a little bit with no fans there. The players can play with a bit of freedom, and they showed that against Chelsea by beating them 3-2 a few weeks ago. And I think just without having that extra pressure, if Watford score early, if the fans are in the ground, then it would end in a Watford win. Whereas Watford score early on Friday, the players playing without pressure a little bit, without the pressure of the fans. Obviously, still the pressure of trying to stay in the Premier League. But that pressure from fans might, not having that in the ground, might sort of play in our favour a little bit. But it's going to be an interesting game. I think, as I said at the beginning, I think both clubs will still be Premier League clubs by the end of the season. They'll still be in the Premier League next year. I think, even with Watford still having to play City and Arsenal, even if West Ham win on Friday, I don't think Bournemouth and Villa have got enough to get out of it. And I think it will go down to the last day, of course, but I think Watford have got enough. I think Watford have got a good record against Arsenal, so you kind of back you guys to get a point at least against Arsenal, even though they are playing well as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I do fancy us to get the win. I think we've been informed the way we dispatched the Norwich, even though Norwich are dead and buried long ago. Even though we did confirm their relegation, but I think we played with a lot more confidence than we have done in recent weeks, and even away from home. To win 4-0 in the Premier League, even against what is essentially a championship club, is no mean feat. So I do fancy us to win, but even if we do, I still think Watford will stay up, and I look forward to getting the bus to Vicarage Road next season. Anyway, good luck for Friday. I still hope West Ham win, obviously, but good luck for Friday and the rest of the season. And look forward to seeing you next year. Cheers.
Thanks for watching. If you made it this far into the video, it's now time for me to give you my score prediction for the game, and I think it's going to be a really tight affair, and I wouldn't be surprised if it ends in a score draw, maybe a 0-0, just because both teams are going to be really cagey, and they won't want to lose the game just because of what's riding on it. But I'm going to go for a 1-0 Watford. Going to be optimistic with Danny Welbeck to get the goal to seal the win for the Hornets. So again, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe as always, and we'll be back with a reaction to the game on Friday evening or Saturday, with some fan cams as well from other Hornets fans giving their views on the game. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.